So I made just around $4,000 on my funded account yesterday trading NZD/USD, and this is going to be a trade breakdown, and also I'm going to teach you the strategy that I used to take this trade. Now, this trade was sent out in my private Discord server with exact entry level, stop loss level, and take profit level. No one that I know does this in their Discord servers. They only post market analysis, but they do not give the exact signals and the exact take profit levels when they're taking the trade. All right. So why did I take this trade? So first of all, let me break down the strategy that I used to take this trade. All right. And you can see I shot it here and took my profits here. So as we know, price only does two things, and it only moves in two ways. All right. So first thing first, price goes from external range liquidity into internal range liquidity, and from internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. Now, what is external range liquidity? It is basically any high or any low, right? So this is external liquidity. This is external liquidity. This is external liquidity, and also this is external liquidity. Now, what is internal range liquidity? It is basically a fair value gap, right? So over here, if we have a fair value gap, that is your internal range liquidity. So price, as I said before, only does two things. It goes from external and it rebalances itself into internal range liquidity. And from internal, price goes up and takes out external range liquidity. So what strategy did I use in this trade, right? So I used internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. So once price came into my internal range, right, I dropped down to a lower time frame, and then I looked for a market structure shift, and then I took my entry. So on the daily time frame, remember this, on the daily time frame, I waited for price to come into, basically, let's do this. I waited for price to come into my fair value gap, right? And once price did that on the daily, I dropped down to 1 hour time frame, right? And after that, I looked for a market structure shift. Now, once price comes into your daily time frame fair value gap or internal range liquidity, whatever you want to call it, you have to drop down to 1 hour time frame to look for a market structure shift. Now that is going to confirm that this fair value gap is going to work out. And that is also going to confirm that we are going to go towards the most recent low, right? So we have lower low, lower high, and then a lower low. So this is going to be your extreme target level. It is not going to be your take profit level, but it is where you're assuming price is going to go in the next coming days. So once you have a market structure shift, right, what I looked for is a lower low, lower high, and then a lower low formation. So that is my favorite entry pattern that I look for. So after market structure shift, right, you have to look for this pattern, and this is very powerful. We have A, B, C pattern. And finally, when we get the deep leg that sweeps this high over here, so what we have, A, B, C, D, right? This high, lower high, once it gets swept, what I'm doing is I'm dropping down to 5-minute time frame. So we go from daily, we look for a market structure shift on the 1 hour time frame. We then look for a lower low, lower high, lower low formation on the 1 hour time frame, right? And once that we have that, we look for a sweep of that lower high on the 1 hour time frame. After that, we are marking out this low over here. So that is going to be our take profit level, right? That is going to be our draw on liquidity. But my rule is I always go for 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. So once the liquidity is swept, I'm dropping down to 5-minute time frame. All right. And then I'm looking for another market structure shift on the 5-minute time frame. Now we have multiple confirmations. We had like a 1 hour market structure shift. Then we had, a lower high formation. Afterwards, we had a buy side liquidity purge. So remember this, in a sell program, we would ideally want to see buy side liquidity being purged and then reversing. Okay. So then after we have a sweep of the 1 hour high, we drop down to 5-minute time frame, and then we look to take our entry from the 5-minute fair value gap or auto block after a market structure shift, right? So this is the market structure shift. And then I would take my entry from the fair value gap that is above in the premium level. And then I would short it right here, put my stop right above this. Oops, my bad. So I would just short it right here. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, I inverted the chart. So basically, I would just short here and then target this level, right? So it's gonna look something like this and this. So that is the strategy that I use. Now let me break down the trade so you guys can learn. Before moving on to the trade breakdown, I want to talk about my private Discord server and my private course. So once you enroll, you get access to my private Discord server where I share signals and market analysis. You get weekly Q&A and market forecast. You get my strategies that actually work. So there's a video that I explain how my students got funded. So for the course content, you get ICT basics. So if you're just starting out, you get the ICT basics like fair value gap, auto blocks, liquidity. Then I have the no daily bias strategies, and these strategies do not require daily bias. They work without daily bias, and that's the favorite thing about this. All right, my most favorite thing. Now you have the ICT essentials section where you get all the juicy stuff like SMT divergences, you get breaker blocks, you get volume imbalances, you get entry patterns, you get the Asian session version 2, you get the silver bullet with daily bias, and a bunch of stuff that you guys can use. All right, and then in the advanced trading strategy, this is my favorite section. You get the market maker models. You get to learn how to find your daily, weekly, monthly bias. You get risk management for prop firm accounts. You get silver bullet with bias. You get fair value gap, liquidity, quarterly theory, AR50, everything. Like, this is a complete package, guys. All right, and you need to stop paying $500,000 to fake gurus. All right, stop doing that. For just $150, you can get access to all of it, but it is not necessary, guys. You can still become profitable with my YouTube videos. All right, so here is the trade breakdown. So remember one thing: we use internal to external whenever we are clear about the order flow, right? So over here you can see that the order flow on NZD/USD was bearish. Okay, so over here, what we have internal range liquidity, and we have this low as our external range liquidity. So once price came into my fair value gap, and specifically the 50% of the fair value gap, I dropped down to 1 hour time frame. Okay, and afterwards, what I looked for was a market structure shift, and just around here, what we had was a market structure shift. Now, what did we have? We have a lower low, lower high, and then a lower low formation, and the external liquidity was still intact. So that was very important. Now I look for buy side liquidity purge, and of course, as I said before, I love this pattern A, B, C, D. Right now, once we have swept this high over here, I marked out this relevant equal lows. So that would have been my like extreme target. So let me just go back somewhere around here. So once price swept the liquidity on the 1 hour time frame, I dropped down to 5-minute time frame. And that's from where I framed my trade. Okay. So what I look for was a market structure shift. So we had break here, and we also had a break here. And what I noticed that we had this consolidation. So that is a market maker model, right? We have original consolidation. We took out the price. Sell program was activated here, right? And afterwards, what I look for was this fair value gap in the premium. So if I turn on the executions here, you're going to see that I shorted from this fair value gap, and I took my profits somewhere around here. That gave me around 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and price went ahead and took out this original consolidation. So that was the entire trade breakdown. By the way, if you are looking for a reliable prop firm, I would highly suggest Blue Guardian. Now, I have been in the prop firm industry for way too long now, and I can tell you Blue Guardian is one of the best, if not the best prop firms out there. They have like an 85% profit split. Their spreads are very low. Everything about them is absolutely great. They have like extremely positive reviews, and they have this rapid evaluation program where you only need to pass the phase 1. And once you pass phase 1, you get funded. You get the entire account to yourself. So there's the link in the description. Click on it and use the code FAS SMC to get 10% off on your next challenge purchase.